The Sardar outwits Bhutto, written by K. Natwar Singh. Jawaharlal Nehru, the idealist, took the Kashmir issue to the UN Security Council in good faith in December 1947. By doing so, he converted an internal matter into an international one. He compounded this serious error of judgment by approaching the Security Council under Chapter 6 of the UN Charter, which is concerned with the pacific settlement of disputes. We should have approached the Security Council under Chapter 7. Article 39 of the chapter reads, "The Security Council shall determine the existence of any threat to the peace, breach of peace, or act of aggression and shall make recommendations or decide what measures shall be taken to maintain or restore international peace and security." The decision to refer Kashmir to the Security Council was taken by Nehru on the advice of Mountbatten. While Sardar Patel was in charge of princely states, the state of Jammu and Kashmir was the responsibility of Nehru. In a letter to Sheikh Abdullah dated 10th October 1947, Nehru wrote, "For me, Kashmir's future is of the most intimate personal significance. At the Security Council, from day one, the dice was loaded against us. Britain openly sided with Pakistan. The US followed the Britain. Nehru was dismayed and disgusted. Kashmir became a victim of Cold War pulls and pressures. The Security Council ignored India's complaint about Pakistani aggression in Kashmir and converted the Kashmir question into the Indo-Pak question. A meeting was called by Lord Mountbatten on 25th February 1948 to discuss Kashmir issue. Those present were Nehru, Patel, Mountbatten, Gopalswamy Iyengar, and Patrick Gordon Walker, a member of Attlee's government. I found his presence an infringement on India's sovereignty. These meetings should have been presided over by Nehru. Mountbatten's record of meeting is most revealing. It reads, Nehru said that it had been an act of faith by the government of India at a time when the situation was rapidly deteriorating to make their reference to the Security Council in first place. If this faith was now proved to be misplaced, the consequences would have to be borne by those who had made the reference. Patel said that Nehru in particular had great faith in the institution of the UNO, but the Security Council had been meddling in power politics to such an extent that very little of this faith was left. He pointed out that it was the Governor General who had induced the government to make the reference to the UNO in first place. Between 1948 and 1964, any number of meetings on Kashmir were held at the Security Council. In not a single one of them did India get a fair deal. The only beneficiary was the acerbic Krishnamenon, who became a hero in India after his 9-hour speech at the council in 1956. However, members of the Security Council were not impressed. Their response in private was, "If your case is so strong, then why is it necessary to take 9 hours to explain it?" Indeed, during 1964-65, several meetings of Security Council were called to discuss the Kashmir question. The Indian ministers who participated in these meetings were Sardar Swaran Singh and M.C. Chagla. The Pakistani side was headed by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Singh and Bhutto had met earlier in Karachi, New Delhi, and Kolkata. The contrast between them was all too obvious. Sardar Sahib was earthy, cautious, undramatic, steady, practical, sound, unflappable, and lacking in the suave sophistication of Bhutto. He never got cold feet. Neither was he ever guilty of smashing the diplomatic crockery. He was reliable with vast political experience. Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, to the surprise of almost every other Congress politician, had appointed him Minister of External Affairs in July 1964. The joke was that Sardar Swaran Singh did not know the difference between Ho Chi Minh and Aksai Chin, but he soon took the measure of his critics and made it abundantly clear that he did. All his life, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto lived on a political overdraft from a bank about to go bust. He was elegant, eloquent, sneering in tone, offensive in language. He was an intellectual given to verbal typhoons. He lived on the edge. The abyss was awaited him. India he loathed. A hedonist, he enjoyed the pleasures and prizes life offered. Bhutto was an exceptionally gifted diplomat. He befriended China without offending the Americans. He read widely. His library did him credit. He admired Nehru in private and respected S. Radhakrishnan. During the Security Council debate, his schadenfreude was all too evident. He referred to Indians as dogs and claimed that India had usurped Kashmir by devious, dishonest, and foul means. On the surface, it appeared that the simple Sardar Swaran Singh was no match for the ostentatious Pakistani counterpart. But he was soon to discover otherwise. After the first day's session, members of the Permanent Mission of India, led by Ambassador G. Parthasarathi and including Brajesh Mishra, myself, and S.K. Singh, suggested to the External Affairs Minister that if Mr. Bhutto were to continue his unbridled tirade against India, we should walk out of the Security Council. Neither Sardar Sahib nor the gentle, wise, and level headed G. Parthasarathi was given to diplomatic hijinks. Doing anything dramatic was not in their nature. But Parthasarathi was exasperated and came around to the view that enough was enough and a walkout should be considered. Sardar Sahib was not wholly convinced. Such an act would be unprecedented and likely to be misunderstood. However, he could not ignore Parthasarthi's views. He had high regard for him. Sardar Swaran Singh was persuaded to call Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri to seek his permission. At the time, almost half a century back, it was not easy to call Delhi from New York. When Sardar Sahib briefed the Prime Minister, Shastriji's response was quintessentially diplomatic. He said to his minister, Sardar Sahib, you are on the spot. Use your judgment. Swaran Singh did precisely that. As soon as Bhutto began his verbal onslaught, the Indian delegation, led by the External Affairs Minister, staged a walkout. An event so full of drama would normally have been on the front pages of all New York papers and on all TV channels. This did not happen. The walkout decision was a well kept secret. No photographs exist. The debate fizzled out. The sting went out of the Kashmir issue at the UN. It remains on the UN agenda still, but there are no takers for it anymore thanks to Sardar Swaran Singh. Thank you for listening. Now, some word power. Jawaharlal Nehru, the idealist, took the Kashmir issue to the UN Security Council in good faith in December 1947. By doing so, he converted an internal matter into an international one. He compounded this serious error of judgment by approaching the Security Council under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. Compound. COMPOUND. Compound means to make a problem or difficult situation worse. At the Security Council, from day one, the dice was loaded against us. The dice are loaded against someone means refer to a situation where everything seems to work to your disadvantage. Between 1948 and 1964, any number of meetings on Kashmir were held at the Security Council. In not a single one of them did India get a fair deal. The only beneficiary was the acerbic Krishnamenon, who became a hero in India after his 9-hour speech at the council in 1956. Acerbic. ACERBIC. Acerbic means sharp, bitter, and sarcastic. Sardar Sahib was earthy, cautious, undramatic, steady, practical, sound, unflappable, and lacking in the suave sophistication of Bhutto. He never got cold feet. Get cold feet means to feel too frightened that you had planned to do, especially something important. Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, to the surprise of almost every other Congress politician, had appointed him Minister of External Affairs in July 1964. The joke was that Swaran Singh did not know the difference between Ho Chi Minh and Aksai Chin. Ho Chi Minh, a Vietnamese communist revolutionary. Aksai Chin, an arid region divided between India and China. All his life, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto lived on a political overdraft from a bank about to go bust. He lived on the edge. Live on the edge means to engage in risky or daring activities. The abyss awaited him. Abyss, ABYSS. Abyss means a very deep hole that seems to have no bottom. During the Security Council debate, his Schadenfreude was all too evident. SCHADENFREUDE. Schadenfreude means pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortunes. After the first day's session, members of the Permanent Mission of India, led by Ambassador G. Parthasarathi and including Brajesh Mishra, myself, and S.K. Singh, suggested to the External Affairs Minister that if Mr. Bhutto were to continue his unbridled tirade against India, we should walk out of Security Council. Unbridled, UNBRADDLE. Unbridled means uncontrolled. Tirade, TIRADE. Tirade means a long, angry speech of criticism or accusation. Doing anything dramatic was not in their nature. But Parthasarathi was exasperated. EXASPEERATED. Exasperated means intensely irritated and frustrated. When Sardar Sahib briefed the Prime Minister, Shastriji's response was quintessentially diplomatic. Quintessential, QUINTESSENTIAL. Quintessential means most perfect example of a quality or class. The debate fizzled out. Fizzle out, FIZZLE. Fizzle out means to gradually end, often in an disappointing or weak way. Thank you very much.